Amy Bradley is Missing is a documentary that is on Netflix right now, and it is absolutely riveting. I was telling you about it. She was 23 years old when she disappeared. This was on a Caribbean cruise. I think the year was 1998. And it really leaves you kind of like on a cliffhanger. Like, it made me think that Amy Bradley is still out there, but it also had me questioning, I'm gonna be honest with you, would I ever take a cruise again? Because if something like this could happen on a cruise, the most heartbreaking part was that this family had to get off the boat without their daughter.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. So that was the part that was just so troubling for me. But in case you haven't seen it, we want you to see at least some of it. Let's take a look.
Was coming to its end. So at that time, we were losing access to anything on the boat, any witnesses, suspects, and the potential crime scene. If you don't have a body, you can't really determine exactly what happened.
You still have several scenarios. Many things could have occurred. Did she inadvertently fall off? Wasn't feeling well, felt sick, by mistake, was on the balcony, fell off into the water. Did she commit suicide? Was furniture moved? Did she step on something? And did she jump overboard? The sliding door on the balcony was ajar. Did she walk back through? Did she go up to the deck to watch the sunrise? Did she go out to smoke? Did something occur when she was up on the deck? Did she meet somebody? You know, whether it was that night and the previous night. Did she walk off the ship, never return?
A lot of questions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
because I
see
told
what I'm
you,
saying?
I haven't watched it. You watched it. Hearing you and others talk about it, I need to, that's the next thing I need to do, for
Yeah,
sure.
you need to watch it. It's going to make you feel an array of emotions, because I did. I felt sad. I felt mad. I had a lot of questions, and I can only imagine what the Bradley family has gone through over these years. And I really hope that at some point they get some resolve, because I think that's the hardest part, is like not having any answers. And then the cruise ship and the cruise company is just going on with life as normal. But for you, it's clearly not normal. Do we have Phil Lott? Yeah. Do we have him? Okay,
Awesome.
Let's go to Phil Lott, the director. It is really a pleasure to speak with you. I had the privilege of watching this. I had a lot of questions. What made you even explore this story and bring it back into the forefront again?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on, and thanks for watching. And we're so excited that so many people are getting to kind of experience Amy's story and the story of the Bradley family and the trauma they've been through. Yeah, I mean, look, we're lucky enough to work. I mean, it's a strange thing to say, but we're lucky enough to work in a world of documentaries where we get to visit a lot of stories that are strange and weird and often very, very, very sad and tragic. But Amy's story specifically hit home for me because I was on a vacation. As you can tell, I'm English. I was on a vacation with my family, and I was about the same age. I think she's 3 weeks older than me. And I remember it was probably that same thing that she was doing, which was the last vacation with the family, probably before she starts, her kind of adult life. And so there was an excitement about it, and I remember just getting that feeling when I heard that story of, wow, that's how her family vacation ended. It was just this dream vacation, and as you quite rightly said a second ago, the family ended up having to leave the ship and go back home without one of their children. And I think that just stuck with me in a way that when I heard it over and over again, just being in the businesses I'm in, which is, always having an ear to kind of what stories are resonating with people. And I just felt like it was so personal to me. It was like something that really felt like, I think it's everyone's family and everyone's worst nightmare.
It is. It really is. One of the things that I thought was very riveting about the documentary was this image that you had that was then kind of like juxtaposed with Amy. And this was someone that I think it was found online or something like that, some type of ad or something. And it looked just like Amy. From your vantage point, you probably know more than I know, and probably more that was not even put in this documentary. Do you think Amy is still out there somewhere?
That's a great question. I'm not avoiding the answer, but I do believe that our role in directing this show, and I direct with my business partner Ari Mark, we just felt like our job on this was to present factually everything, every single one of those theories, and explore them to the degree that we could really feel to ourselves that we could say that could be the one. And then we do it all over again, and then again and again. And what's sort of insane about this story is that every single one of the theories that we present, and you're quite right, we do, there are lots of other theories out there, and we'd love to have more screen time to tell those, because they're all fascinating. But these are the ones we really could prove out, had a lot of evidence and a lot of people that could speak to them. We just felt like we could do a very good job to ourselves of just going down the path and exploring to a point where we could say that could be it. And I think when you watch the documentary, what you're experiencing, and I hope this is what people are experiencing, is that feeling that there are so many questions that this mystery just gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it was very deep. I thought it was at some point in the documentary where it was discussed that the region in which Amy could be in, that area typically goes to around her birthday, I think it was, or Christmas, goes on this page about her being missing. Has there been any new details or any new information that has come out since the documentary that could point to where Amy is, or start a new search, or maybe bring her home?
That's a really great question. I mean, one of our very first motivations for doing this, when you're looking at a documentary and a subject, you're going to spend 2 or 3 years with, that story and those family members and those victims, oftentimes. And we just knew this was a documentary that wasn't just one we had, we wanted to kind of explore and tell the story, but it was one that we felt a duty to tell. It really could do a service, and especially being on a streamer like Netflix, it goes to everyone in the world, and this is an international story. So there could have been anybody on that boat from anywhere in the world who could have a clue. I will say there have been some very definite leads that have come from the documentary, but also it's too soon to kind of to say if they're fruitful or not. But our goal the whole time, while working with the wonderful family who are the Bradleys, and if you meet Ivor, she's a force of nature, and she's never stopped looking for her daughter. One of the things you see in the documentary is there's, when they come home, she doesn't wallow and shut the curtains and keep the world out. She builds a war room and starts keeping files, and she still has those files. She literally has every phone number of everyone who ever said, I have an idea, or here's a thought, or I'm a cab driver, or I was on that ship. She has every single one of those in her filing system, because she wants to bring her home. And we feel the same way, and nothing will give us greater pleasure or more fulfillment than learning that something in this documentary sparked the one thing that moved the story forwards, or even, as you say, brought Amy home.
I know that you spent so much time with this case and getting to know the family. Is it hard to separate, for you and your coworkers, to separate work from living your everyday life, going to sleep at night without thinking of Amy?
That's a really really good question, because our job is to, and I say it's a job because as the job of doing one foot in front of another to finish a film, that's very separate from what this was. This definitely from day one felt like a huge responsibility that we were taking on. We fell in love with the family. I hope you feel the same way when you watch the documentary. They're just so relatable and so hurt, and they're living every single day. And there's a line in the documentary that Amy's parents say, which is every morning they wake up thinking this could be the day that Amy comes home, and every night they go to bed saying maybe tomorrow. And I think living with that amount of pain, that amount of real searing opportunity, that any single day could be the day that changes their lives and potentially puts it, somewhat on track to be back to normal. I just think it's so resonant. I think it just hits you.
Yeah, I pray for the Bradley family. I really do. It makes you look at the whole cruise experience completely differently. We're running out of time, but I do have to ask you this last question. Will there be another film, you think, about Amy Bradley, or was this it?
We definitely want